Horror story about clams. I want to share the story today about life in a beautiful coastal city, which is also my hometown. I firmly believe that everyone feels comfortable and free when standing in front of the immense sea. I also love the sea, because the sea is beautiful and because the seafood is delicious. There is a seaside park not far from my house. This is usually a cool place for many people. The coastal rocks will be exposed whenever the seawater recedes low, forming a peaceful and rustic beauty. That's also when some nearby residents and tourists gather by the beach to play treasure hunt. Actually, the treasure here is some small seafood. They are fresh and of course free. You can easily find treasures, for example, when flipping open a stone like this. Chances are you'll find some crabs, maybe even fish hidden underneath. This hobby is basically very attractive to tourists. The locals will not use it that way, but they do it more professionally, with sand digging tools. Then search in the sand. I really like a type of seafood hidden in the sand, that is clams. Since I'm a resident here, I've become a pro in this. I've harvested a lot of clams. If you know how, you can do the same thing as me, getting a bucket full of clams like this in one high and low tide. The story that I want to tell you is also related to this. Here is a true story about my neighbor, that is Ms. Annie. Her hobby is going to the beach every day. Especially when the tide is low, she'll go to the beach. Although she is not a business person, she is still a pretty professional fish catcher. Perhaps because she does this every day, it has gradually become a skill. She will look into the little holes in the sand. That was the clue for her to find the clams hiding underneath. She used a sand rake with one hand, and the other hand dug, so a whole treasure was unearthed. Each time she scratched like that, she could spot 5 to 6 clams. By the time she left, she had collected a bucket full. It's also no surprise that she got such huge loot. There is a trick that just put a little seawater in the bucket. The clam will stick out its tongue and spit out all the sand in it. This is not only for entertainment but also for Ms. Annie's family to have a delicious dish. When Annie got home, she scrubbed each clam, put some oil and finely chopped scallions in the pot. She sautéed the clams for a few more minutes. Then cover the pot without adding water or other spices. Simmer on low heat for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then a delicious dish is finished and laid out on a plate. What a delicious plate of clams with original sea sauce. Ms. Annie is not the only one who likes this delicious delicacy, but this is also a dish that her husband and 2 children are extremely passionate about. As long as this dish is on the table every day, the whole family scrambles to eat. The feeling of catching the clams and processing it yourself is not the same as buying from the market. It's a fresh and wonderful feeling, warm, full of love, much more. Annie always makes a big plate full of it, but no one leaves a single piece of it. All will be eaten, only clamshells will be left. That day, like many other times, Annie's family enjoyed a delicious and full meal, but they could not foresee what was going to happen. Annie slept until midnight and suddenly felt very uncomfortable in her stomach. She rushed to the bathroom, probably having diarrhea. After thinking about it for a while, she didn't know what she ate to get like that. Obviously only clams for dinner. It's delicious and nutritious. Could it be because of the clams? She wondered. After all, she thought of the children, wondering if they were in trouble now. Thinking that, she opened the door and entered the 2 children's room. But when she opened the door to enter, the scene before her eyes made her dizzy. Her daughter is sleeping, but there is an arm reaching out from behind her. A black hand outstretched, blurred, illusory in the dark. Not only that, on top of her young son, who was lying on the upper bunk bed, a black foot poked out. It's the same faint shadow, but it's moving. She was very scared but didn't dare to move and ran back to her room to call her husband. "Honey." Just as he was about to call out when he pushed the door open. She saw her husband's half of the head sticking up again. It's also black and fuzzy and can't be seen clearly. Could they be parts of the body of something? However, she still mustered up the courage to wake her husband up. "Honey, please wake up quickly." Her husband quickly wakes up and can also see the strange creature. He panics. What is this? When he was about to reach out and touch it, the creature disappeared. She did not hesitate to drag her husband to meet the children. "Go see the children. They have the same problem as you." Both of them ran to the bedroom of two children. They breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, all those scary things were gone. However, both of them were very scared and didn't understand what had happened to their family. The next night, the same hand and foot appeared on her two children. But it's even fainter than the first day. Her husband had the same problem. The strange and mysterious creature gradually faded, and it was no longer visible by the third day. Her husband and children were also not affected. They just did not understand why such a strange and scary phenomenon happened. Because I was originally a person who read a lot of horror stories, watched many horror movies, and learned about the spiritual world a lot, when I heard the story of my neighbor Annie, I had some conjectures. Of course, that's just my guess. I suppose the problem lies with the clams they ate that night. The clams that Annie dug that day were in the same place. Each was plump and full of meat. Maybe there was someone's body buried there. The clams ate the corpse's flesh to be so fat and fresh. I diligently followed the news to see if my conjecture was correct, but I never heard of a dead person being found there. However, this story is still scary for coastal residents, especially Annie's family, my neighbor.